Hi everyone, welcome to Forbes Flash. It's a big week for us here at Forbes. We launched our 33rd annual Billionaires List. It always makes for an exciting day in the office as the world catches up with more than 2,000 names on the list. For only the second year in a decade, the number of billionaires in the world and their total wealth shrank, proving that even the richest of the rich aren't immune to economic forces and weak stock markets. But don't worry, they'll be okay. Combined, their wealth comes in at a cumulative $8.7 trillion. It's probably no surprise to any of you that the trio of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett sit at the top of the list. Though, Bezos might lose his #1 spot once his divorced wife Mackenzie goes through. The richest woman in the world, Francoise Bettencourt Myers, comes in at 15th overall. The L'Oreal heiress, who is also the chairwoman of her family's holding company, has a fortune of $49.3 billion. This is her second year on the billionaires list, and her fortune is up $7.1 billion, thanks to stellar results at the makeup giant. We estimate that 90% of her wealth is tied to shares of the company. And of course, I have to talk about another woman who can attribute her fortune to a successful cosmetics company. Making her Forbes Billionaire List debut this year is Kylie Jenner. The 21-year-old is the youngest self-made billionaire ever, younger even than Mark Zuckerberg when he hit the 10-figure milestone. Jenner started Kylie Cosmetics in 2015, which, fueled in part by an exclusive distribution deal with Ulta, is now worth at least $900 million. Kylie owns all of it, and her overhead is minuscule, with manufacturing, packaging, sales, fulfillment, finance, and PR all outsourced. And the brand doesn't need to spend much on marketing. Thanks to a following on social media of more than 175 million, Jenner can share updates about new products and more with a few swipes on her phone. As soon as the news of Kylie's billionaire status broke this week, the internet had a field day with it, fans and critics alike. The most common feedback? How could Forbes consider someone who grew up in the spotlight with a wealthy family self-made? Fair question. So let me explain how our wealth editors define self-made. The Forbes definition refers to someone who established a fortune on his or her own, rather than inheriting it. But within that, there's a range of life circumstances that impact someone's ability to make it, as one says. So we have a 1 to 10 scoring system to address accordingly. Someone who inherits their fortune scores a 1. Someone who works their way up to the top against hardships and after growing up poor, like Oprah, would score a 10. Kylie Jenner has not inherited her fortune. Remember, she owns all of Kylie Cosmetics. But she does come from a wealthy family and has used her fame to her advantage, so she scores a 7. You can catch up on all of her coverage and the conversations around the list at #ForbesBillionaires. Kylie aside, there's another piece of billionaire-related news from this week. After months of speculation, Michael Bloomberg announced on Tuesday that he will not run for president in 2020. The 9th richest person in the world according to our latest list, the former New York City mayor will still likely have a large influence on the election. He plans to spend $500 million of his own money to defeat Trump, adding to the $100 million he spent on behalf of Democrats in the 2018 midterms. Sound like a lot of money? Remember, this is from a guy worth an estimated $55.6 billion. We still could have a billionaire versus billionaire race though, as long as Howard Schultz remains a potential candidate. And now to wrap things up this week, I have to share a major story that has absolutely nothing to do with billionaires. I know, so generous. And this is a big one. A new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine confirms what countless studies have already shown. There is no link between autism and the MMR vaccine. The scale of the study is what's impressing people. It involved following more than 650,000 children over more than 10 years. Within the duration of the study, 6,517 children developed autism, but the researchers found absolutely no difference in the risk of developing autism between children who had the MMR vaccine and those who didn't. The timing of this is interesting, as we're seeing a dangerous rise in the anti-vax movement around the world. According to the World Health Organization, people who are reluctant or refuse to vaccinate despite the availability of vaccines are one of the 10 biggest threats to human health in 2019. Here's hoping the study changes some minds. Thanks for joining us this week, as always. I hope you check out the Billionaire List. Let me know what you find most interesting by sharing with #ForbesFlash. I'll see you next week.